And welcome back to the Constitutionals podcast. I'm your host, Chad White. If you didn't know, this is the premier podcast for the website, cpluscomedy.com. Like I just said, it's a website. Go there. Bonus episode. We have a bonus episode. I'm announcing this to the world. Here we are in the throes of April, beginning of April, really. And I've got an interview with a very special actor, somebody who when I saw their name come across my list, I said, please, to the interview gods, let me have this person. We're talking to none, if you can't read, if you just click download, you just saw the big arrow pointing down with a circle around it. At least that's how it looks in Pocket Casts. You just downloaded the episode because you said, I got to listen to the Constitutionals. So you only recognize the Constitutionals because you saw the very bad picture that I have up there for the Constitutionals. Okay, I'll stop crapping at myself. Kurt Fuller is the actor I'm speaking to today. He's a comedian. He's a comedic actor. He's a dramatic actor. He's done everything. He's done plays. He's a good guy. I really enjoy his work. Particularly, you might recognize him from the show Evil, most recently, where he plays the doctor, the therapist to the main character, and he got into some demonic stuff in the past season. Not giving anything away. It's a great show. You should check it out. He was also in Law and Order, Supernatural. He's in the Psych universe. He's done The Good Wife. What else do I know? I think that's everything I know from the top of my head. But he's in everything. He's in a lot of stuff, and he's a fantastic, terrific person. In fact, I showed up late to the interview for the first time in, let's see, C Plus Comedy's 10 years old, and I've been interviewing people for 9. So the first time in 9 years, first time in 9 years, I show up late to an interview. And it's all because of me, not mostly because of me, it was all because of me, because I wrote down the wrong time. I wrote down 30 minutes later. And believe it or not, I had another interview this past week that I did the exact same thing to, because I think I set them up on the same day, and my times are just completely off. I blame myself. Anyway, Kurt Fuller, he is going to appear, or has, appeared in the latest episode of Night Court, and I believe he will be in the next one as well. He plays the same, not kind of character, but the same job as Dan Fielding. Over there, John Larroquette. It's a great. Seriously, I'm not kidding. Check out Night Court. Check out the original one. Check out this new one. They're both fantastic. They're both funny. It's hard to do a multicam in today's world where everybody just wants single cam or mockumentary style. And that's not to crap on what's a mockumentary I watch? Abbott Elementary or single cam. Name a single cam. Animal Control. That's not the crap on those, but man, multicams, you can still do it well. Even if you don't necessarily like it. Like, I don't know, Big Bang Theory or something like that. It still works. It still works. And it's good for the actors because they get to work 5 days a week, go home, see their families. Kurt Fuller, I feel like I lost track of that. Kurt Fuller, latest episodes of Night Court. Also in Evil. Check out Evil. Great show. Paramount Plus. Night Court. Peacock. Okay, that's the end of this intro. Check it out. Follow us on, if you want to see a video version of the show, youtube.com/C+comedy, where you can see video versions of every podcast that I do. You can, such as the Constitutionals, which is the premier entertainment business news podcast, as well as LinkedIn Logs, a show where I try to become a LinkedIn influencer /OnlyFan, and Late Night Lately, which is a late night, best of late night podcast as well, with a monologue. That one's got jokes in it. It's got prepared bits, prepared jokes. There's also News Time, which is like the Daily Show, except it's way less funny. That's a weekly series there. And if you want to follow us on cpluscomedy.com for other interviews, youtube.com/cpluscomedy. The playlist is called The Interviews, where you can see video interviews of your favorite people in the entertainment industry. including Kurt Fuller, and social media: TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook at C Plus Comedy. Follow me on those platforms at Chad Black White. Rate, review, subscribe, share this around with your friends, and now we will get to the interviews with Kurt Fuller. Oh wait, wrong one, wrong one. I hit the wrong one. I hit the wrong button. I hit the wrong button. This one, this one.
That's no worry. Hey, how are you?
I'm all right. What about yourself?
Very well. Look at that painting to your left. I
Oh,
like it.
thank you. Yeah, it's
Beautiful.
I found it at a antique shop.
Really?
Yeah,
I like it.
thank you
I
so
like it.
much. Yeah, I love it because it makes me feel like I'm a drug dealer.
Well, that's we all aspire to that. So congratulations.
Well, Kurt, how's everything going with you?
Everything is going swimmingly, actually. I'm in New York right now and having a good time and looking forward to seeing what how my couple episodes of Night Court came out.
So you're in multiple episodes. I was only have access to one, and I was wondering how much time you spent with them.
I did two episodes. I think I did the one that's coming on, and then I think maybe the last one of the season.
Oh wow.
I'm not
Okay.
quite sure. I'm not quite sure which one it was.
Now
Maybe the
this
season got extended after that. I don't know.
Yeah. Now this is your I like you've done so many multicams. Like it's incredible to see, there's like a different multicam for each decade. I mean, like has the style of work changed?
you know, it has. It really changed when we went through the period where it was single cam half hour, which is still, I guess, prevalent now. But the best one I've done several well, they're actually four camera series. Uh, I've done about four of them. And the best one was the creator said, talk as if you're talking in a pretty loud bar. And that's sort of the style. It's a little heightened. It's not, nothing has to be exaggerated. You're not mugging, you're not bugging, but you're active, you're activated. And that works in any decade, I think. That's the best, for me, that's the best way to do it.
That makes so much sense. That explains a lot because sometimes I'll watch a multicam and they'll be screaming and I go, why are they doing this? They're right across the
Why are they
room.
screaming? I know. Well, you know, sometimes they're encouraged to do that. It just
Yeah.
everybody has their own vision and if you just do it like in a normal level, audiences don't want that. They
Mm,
don't know. That's not. They think, oh my god, this is boring. It's just there's a certain style with this because it's sort of like a play and it's sort of like a show and it's in the middle. So you sort of have to find that middle ground. But
yeah. What did you were you somebody who performed stand up or did improv, or did you just start out doing comedies and just kind of slide into the genre?
well, I started out doing theater. I came to LA and I sold real estate and did theater for 9 years
Wow.
for my overnight success. And then Harold Ramis came to see me in a play and got me into Ghostbusters 2. So my first big thing was a comedy. So that led to a bunch of other comedies
Mm,
because what you get known for is what you end up doing. And as it's gone on, I've been able to add in some dramas along the way, but really, I've made most of my money in comedy. And I did theater, a little improv, but I would never had the guts to do stand up. I just I'm too sensitive. The
I,
immediate hatred, I couldn't take it. I mean, I'd rather you talk about me when I leave the room. Don't
yeah.
don't not laugh at my stuff to my face.
But so with theater, did you ever get any instant gratification when it came to performing the lines in an audience, whether it was something dramatic and you hear like a gasp in the audience or something funny and you just hear some chuckles?
Oh, It's the absolute best. It's my
Mhm.
favorite. And it's one of the reasons I like doing shows like Night Court, because there is an audience. And you really do. I mean, it's not a myth. You feed off the audience. If the audience is good, you are much better. If the audience is bad, you're sort of wondering it's not natural, it's not organic. You're sort of trying to figure out how you can get the audience back, or what, or also what's wrong with me, what's
Yeah.
wrong with his writing, what's wrong with his audience. So anything is possible, but when the audience is with you, they're part of the show, really.
Yeah. And I think, I mean, going back to stand up, I think if you could get that into your head, what you just said, because sometimes there are bad audiences. I've been around comedians who were killing it, and then the audience just was not having it at all for whatever reason. But I think you have enough gravitas as a speaker,
ah,
and you're now well enough known enough now that people can go, oh, I like that guy. Let me laugh at his jokes.
I'm the ultimate that guy. You're right. I'm the ultimate that guy, and I'm very happy doing that. It's been good, but I don't think you're going to see me doing stand up anytime soon.
I gotta convince you. I gotta convince you to do that. Now,
Okay.
speaking of performing theater and doing more dramatic stuff, a show like Evil, watching you, especially this past season,
Hmm.
descend into just this pit of madness has been,
Yeah.
especially like seeing, especially knowing that you're a funny person, but watching you
Yeah.
do this has been a whole, like, I guess it's like stretching a different leg. It's like watching a basketball player play baseball and also do well at it. How is that for you? How
Mm.
was that transition into this universe been for you?
Well, I think I think comedy is the hardest thing to do
Hmm.
in acting. I just think it is. Uh, dramatically, yeah, you have to be able to go there. You have to be able to open yourself up. You have to be. You have to um, not be afraid to show parts of yourself that you may not want to, but you just have to be real. With comedy, you have to be real. The timing has to be good. You've got to not overdo it. You've got to not underdo it. There's so many other technical things involved with being funny. Whereas opposed to being dramatic, number one, it's really gratifying to get down there and, uh, and be dramatic.
Yeah.
And if you screw up, they can actually cut around it and make it better. If you screw up in comedy, they can't really fix it so much.
Mhm.
So I loved it, and I loved that they wrote all that for me. And I hope I did them justice, because uh, you know they could have just used me for comic relief in the show, and they let me do that, and I was very grateful.
Yeah, like watching you pop up on screen, and like especially like in a therapy session where we're supposed to
Right?
be on your side, and then like having you just essentially make a deal with the devil and sing a
Yeah.
children's thing every time you're writing and cut
Yeah.
your hand. And I
Oh,
mean, it's kind of, it makes your gut kind of hurt to see such
yes.
a good man turn into an
Yes.
evil presence.
That's I'm going to to pass that on to the creators of the show, because that's exactly what they were going for and what I was going for, and how it happens. And it does happen in life. It does happen in the world. We're all capable of everything. It's just which way we turn sometimes.
Mhm. Has comedy ever informed your dramatic acting and vice versa? Do they ever like help you out on either side?
Yeah, because in comedy, you don't, my I'm not trying to be funny. In fact, generally, what's funny is taking things too seriously that shouldn't be taken so seriously. Like uh, my competition with Dan Fielding in Night Court. It's a little thing, but for me, it's life and death. I mean,
Mhm.
it's like you could imagine me running him over in my car just to win a case. uh, and that's actually very dramatic. And sometimes the more dramatic you make something, the funnier it is because it's not worth all that drama.
Yeah. Sometimes when I'm watching, like when this new version of Night Court started, I went back and watched a bunch of older episodes, and
Mm-hmm.
I love the original Night Court, and this, I think this reboot really does it justice. Uh, and watching it now, and watching the old ones, and watching old episodes of Cheers and Frasier, it's
Mm-hmm.
it's so funny how seriously, like you said, everything was taken.
Yes.
If Sam Malone is in a bar fight, or like has a thing against Gary's bar, or if Dan is trying to
Right.
sleep with a woman that is his superior, it all kind of seems stupid if it happened in the real world, but watching it on TV, it just feels so right and makes so much more sense.
Right. Because if you're the character, okay, in a comedy and you're laughing, the audience doesn't laugh. You've got to, in other words, the audience only has permission to laugh if you're not laughing. If you're laughing at yourself, you've done all the work. You've got to take yourself most of the time very seriously, and that will bring the audience to you and they will laugh. And John Larroquette, which was at the time, like, I mean, I'm such a huge fan of his, and I learned things from him on the 2 weeks I was on that show, because that guy is a master at comedy, and he's also a very good dramatic actor. And
Mm.
in fact, think of all the awards and accolades he's won. I still think he's incredibly underrated. I think he's just a major talent.
Yeah, yeah.
So that was a real honor for me to work with him and Melissa Rauch. They're both such professionals and so good.
Yeah, I've mentioned this before, but I think that Melissa and Dan, they come from two different schools of multicam comedy, because
Mm-hmm.
she was on this like we thought multicams were done. We thought multicams were finished after Friends,
Right.
and that we would never
Right.
see anything that big again. And then she does Big Bang Theory for 11 years, and that's probably still one of the biggest TV shows even in syndication. And then
Absolutely.
John had been on uh two pretty sizable sitcoms of his own 15 years prior. It's amazing to
Mm-hmm.
me how now we have two versions of royalty sitting and commanding a ship on NBC's number one multicam show in
Yeah.
2023.
It's amazing, and it's one of the great things about television and about show business, and that the way they coexist. Uh, I mean, honestly, she could be his daughter. I mean, I wonder if we're going to find out she's his daughter, but no, we're not. I know, but they just blend, and they have such charisma and such chemistry together that it just shows you that good writing and talented people, um, and a great production team, magic can still be created. And I think when those two are together, I think it's quite magical, and you can really see the affection they have for each other, and
Yeah,
and that really works.
yeah. And then that's
That's a
that's
good
broadcast.
observation.
Yeah, exactly. And like that's broadcast, and then that's also doing well in streaming. But then you are doing it on streaming as well with Evil and the Psych movies. I mean, it's
Hmm.
you can't predict anything that goes on in this industry. I'm so
No.
surprised. I'm so surprised that
Yeah.
anything is doing any, like, I'm surprised that Evil is still, and as much as I love the show, but I'm surprised that it
Yeah.
launches on a Sunday every time it airs, and it's
I
doing as
know.
well as it does.
I honestly, I'm going to be 70 years old in September. Every job, and I've had hundreds of them, has been a miracle. And everything that was successful has been a complete surprise, and I could never have predicted. You just don't know. So you just have to, keep juggling all the balls and do your best every time. And you get something like Night Court or something like Evil or Psych.
Mhm.
So, I've been very lucky, and I'm really felt lucky to do night court and then to be asked back to do another one. It really made me feel accepted
Yeah.
because I really wanted them to like me.
And look, you thrive at being that guy. I mean, it's great.
Ah,
It's fantastic. I can't believe
uh,
that it's 70 years old and you're murdering it.
well, thank you. I still have I get tired, but not when I'm on a set. I have plenty of energy. Maybe the 11th hour, I do start to go. I'm going to sit down for a second. But in general, I love it. So as long as I love it, why not keep doing it?
Yeah. And you look good doing it too. So keep up the great work.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Kurt. I do apologize again for being late. Next time
I didn't know you were late.
I'll show up with the best shirt I got and the best
I
prop
love
I
that
got.
shirt. The shirt goes with the art. You look great.
I think it does. Yeah. Thank you.
It
I'm trying
does.
to
Come
become a
on,
Hawaiian
man.
shirt guy.
You're looking good.
Thank
You
you.
look very, very good. All right.
All right. Well, have a great weekend, Kurt. I
Take care.
appreciate this.
Thanks so much.
All
My
right.
pleasure.